Okay, so Brandon, which coordinate do we want, x or y?
We want the x-axis, the x coordinate. Because
Why is that?
Cosine asks for x.
Okay, and should this coordinate be positive or negative, and why?
It should be negative.
Why is
It's in the fourth quadrant.
It should be negative because it's in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so I want a negative number here. Wait a second, Eunice. Why should it be a positive number? We're in the fourth quadrant, though. Because it's going to the which side? Ah, so x's are positive in the fourth quadrant. Very good. Brandon, back to you. Do you agree with Eunice?
Yes.
Okay, so you need a positive number that is pretty close to 0. What is that number going to be, Brandon? There are only 3 options. What are the 3 options, Brandon?
1/2 square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 3 over 2.
Okay, and which one do you want to pick?
1/2.
Why are you picking 1/2?
Because it is the correct answer.
Better explanation 1. It's the closest to 0. So all of that is to say that the cosine of negative pi over 3 is 1/2. This is the thought process people need to go through in their mind when they don't have the unit circle in front of them and they need to answer this question. Leslie.
Isn't it negative?
But it's in quadrant 4, so we can't be negative. The x-coordinate cannot be negative in quadrant 4, right?
Oh.
So let's notice what happened. Cosine of regular pi over 3 was positive 1/2. Cosine of negative pi over 3 was positive 1/2. So it appears we could write a nice rule that cosine of theta equals cosine of negative theta. All of that to get to this point. All of that to get here. All right. Let's keep going. Josue, you're on the hot seat. What did he say?
It's not a compromise.
Sine of 120 degrees, Josue. What is it? Don't look at the unit circle. Just use the logic we used here. Question 1, let me ask, and I'll prompt the questions that should be going through your head. So, question 1, which quadrant is this angle in? Why is that?
Because it's on the other side, quadrant 1, then it's quadrant 2.
I agree with you. So it definitely is 1, 2, 3, 4. But how did you know it was here?
90, and then after 90 is greater than 90, so it must be that one.
Okay. But hold on a second. If greater than 90, so it must be this one. But 300 is greater than 90, but that's not here.
I mean, greater than 90, less than 180.
Good. Greater than 90 and less than 180. Gotta be here. Okay. And is it okay? Question 2. Is it going to be closer to the y-axis or the x-axis?
Y-axis.
Why is that? X-axis? Eddie? Why is he right? He is right. Eddie, explain why he's right. Yeah, 120 is closer to 90 than 180. Were you going to say that, Giselle? That was not a rhetorical.
I was just going to say, like, you just add on what you had in the first one, because the first angle you had was 30.
Right.
I just added 90.
Yeah, 30 plus 90, so we have to go a little bit more than 90, so here we are. Okay. So now let's wait. We need the sine. Let me write this over here. Sine of 120. So Josue, we need to find x coordinate or y. Which one do you want?
Y.
Why do you want the y coordinate?
Because sine is always y. The y.
Sine is always the y coordinate. Good. So I need to find a y coordinate, and would you like it to be positive or negative, and why?
Positive.
Why is that?
Because it's closer to 1.
Because it's closer to 1?
Oh, it's above 0, and it's 1.
Good. It's above 0 and below 1. Good. So got to be a positive number. So you want a positive number. You want it to be really close to 1. Of the 3 choices Brandon said earlier, what is the closest one to 1?
Square root of 3 over 2.
Okay, done. That's it.
That's for the answer.
No.
Oh.
That's it? All right. So sine of 120 degrees root 3 over 2? 0.866 on the calculator. Okay, so Abraham, sine of negative 120 degrees.
That would have to be like reflected across the other point just now.
Okay, so which quadrant? 3, okay. And how did you know that?
Because it goes more than 90, but less than 180.
Right, it goes more than 90 on the negative side, but less than 180 on the negative side. Okay, so it's in here. Would you like it to be closer to the y-axis or the x-axis?
So y.
Okay, good. So maybe somewhere here. And do you want to find the x-coordinate or the y-coordinate?
Or y.
And why is that?
Because sine is y and cosine is x.
Okay, good. And would you like it to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Why is that?
Because it's below 0 on the x-axis. I mean y-axis.
Okay, good. So you want a number that is negative and that is really close to negative 1. And what is it going to be?
Negative 0, 0, 2.
Done. Yeah. Right, but the reason I'm drawing it out like this is because now we see the rule. And what is the rule? The rule is that sine of theta equals negative times the sine of negative theta. In other words, these are opposites. These are opposites. These are opposites. Questions? So now there should never ever be an angle in the world that we can't find the cosine or the sine of if it's on the unit circle. We know the process. Quadrant, closer to 90 or 180, or sorry, closer to x-axis or y-axis, positive or negative, find the value. There should never be an angle. It might take a minute to go through the process. That's fine. It'll become faster as we keep doing it. You should be able to do it. Edgar.
Will there be like questions where the angle is in the unit circle?
There will be, and you'll be able to use your calculator.
Oh.
All right. So now let's use some of this logic over here on the problem on your page. So, Brandon, we need to move this. You want to move yourself as well, or you want to move this and go back? Your choice. All right. So the first question they ask us here is cosine of theta. They're asking us, what does cosine of theta equal? We'll pick it up with Martyr. Pick it up with Martyr. So Martyr, cosine of theta given this angle right here. You have it on your paper too if you want to see it easier there. And how did you know that's right, Martyr? Oh. Why is it going to be positive? Sorry. That's the rule. No, but I'm just saying cosine of regular theta. Cosine of regular theta needs to switch. Why is it? Why is that? How did we find cosine before, Martyr? How did we find cosine before? I'm sorry. Maybe this is not right. Maybe this is not right. Why? How do we find cosine? If you think about the unit circle, what do we do to find cosine? What do we do, Martyr? What did we do here? What did we do here? What is this 1/2 doing? How did we know to pick 1/2? If you're looking at the unit circle, how do I know which coordinate is the cosine and which is sine? Cosine is the x-coordinate. So what is the x-coordinate here, Martyr? Negative 0.276. Yesenia, what's the sine of theta? 0.961. How did you get that? Looking at the y-coordinate. Very good. All right. Brianna. Cosine of negative theta. And some people might already be doing this at their desk. Great. Cosine of negative theta. Brianna, what are you thinking? Why is that?
Because I look at the X.
But the x is negative 0.276.
But then you find the opposite of it.
Why do you find the opposite of it?
Because
That way you do not know. Eunice, you want to support?
Is it because of the rule that says that it equals each other?
Right, but she said positive. Oh, so you're saying that's not right?
No,
It is right? Because what equals each other? Giselle, support your teammates.
it's supposed to be negative